because Woody Morris, being an international jet setter, buggered off, went on holiday to Marbella.
It wasn't a holiday, it was work.
Yes.
It was work.
And she arrived in today, so as a big thank you for Woody making it all the way, we've got quite an uncomfortable presentation because I've got no idea what she's going to do with them when I hand them over. But isn't she wonderful? Woody Morris, yes!
Well, actually, thank you. Thanks, guys. We haven't even started yet. But I'm going to do just a little shout out to little egg-faced here. Because this guy is amazing. As we all know, you'll have seen him do so much for the My Doddy Foundation. You're amazing. And he actually got on a wee bike for the first time in a long time, early this week. He'd not had clip-ons or clip-ins or whatever you call them for a long time. He cycled all the way from Dundee to Gala and then ran from Gala to here. That's only just a tiny amount of what he's done for this foundation. You are incredible. Well done. We love you so much. So guess what we've got you? A wee egg for our wee egg.
You can tell you're in Melrose, that's an awfully posh egg. You'd egg at them in Lidl. I'm delighted with that, thank you. We've just hit £3,000. So I'm going to be round as soon as you've got drunk, and I'm going to be taking your mobile and scanning my QR code and emptying your bank accounts. So just be warned. Folks, it's table service. The strippers have arrived, ladies and gentlemen! Not so much Chippendale as Old Mahogany. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining us. So, tonight we're going to be bringing in our 3 brand new inductees to the Hall of Fame. They are in our midst. We've also got a few people, that some of them have just arrived, for a Q&A throughout the evening. We felt it was a bit too Melrose-centric, so we've got Mossy Patterson here just to even the keel a little bit, just to make sure that the Galileans in the room are entertained. And there's going to be some chances for you on the floor to ask questions to our special guests. So if you do have a question, please grab Woody or I at some point throughout the evening. Woody,
or I'll grab you.
I
think I might have given a few of you a heads up, but I'm coming for you.
Woody's been doing a lot of grabbing so far. Woody, what are you looking forward to the most?
Spending a night with you.
Correct answer. Thank you very much for that. So, folks, without any more nonsense, you're going to enjoy your first course, and then we'll be back up with our first special guest for a Q&A. Enjoy the chat, enjoy the beautiful weather. I'm told it was a wee bit chilly last year, so hopefully we're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. Have a great night. We'll be back very, very soon.
Enjoy your meal. Thank you.
I got a good 2 minutes of Rob Gray. A good 2 minutes.
Gala legend, the one and the only, Chris Mossy Patterson!
Evening all.
Hello Christopher, how are
I've been
you?
sent to the lectern.
It's because your fly's down.
Aye. Something in the back of your heel. There it is.
There it is. So, what's it like being in Melrose as a special guest?
That's great, isn't it? It's
You say that.
no, I mean it. It's brilliant. Like it's great to be back. It's really special memories of Melrose Sevens. I'm not just saying it. My first ever senior rugby experience was Melrose Sevens. I was still at school, Gal Academy, played for the Wanderers, and I got called into the Sevens squad for the weekend. So my first ever experience of senior rugby at any level was Melrose Sevens. And unfortunately, it was a first round exit at the hands of Hoyk. Well, that didn't go down well. But genuinely, it was Tony Stanger scored, playing against Tony Stanger, Keith Sutton, guys like that, and I was even thinner than I am now, at 17-year-old. But it was brilliant to test yourself in an arena that had pressure, it had expectation, and yeah, it was
But going out in the first round, men.
Well, I said this before. I was actually working washing dishes at the Holbridge at the time. For those who are local, the Holbridge is a restaurant over in Gartonside. So if we'd gotten past the second round, I'd been late for work and probably sacked. So I came off the field, got a shower, picked my bag up. It wasn't really high-flying celebrations. I just had to walk across the swing bridge and wash dishes for the rest of the evening. So I wasn't late. But I think having played and being a non-drinker, I was about the only staff member available because everybody else who worked in the place got steaming in the afternoon and couldn't work at night. So it was a safe bet.
You are a safe bet. And then it all happens 3 years later, 1999. Let's face it, it's called the Chris Patterson final, isn't it?
No.
Come on.
No, we won in '99, and I said before, that was one of the. I mean, I'm lucky enough to have a lot of rugby memories. Some not so good, well, most not so good. Some nice. That's a problem with being a Scottish player. Yeah. I think historically Scotland has about a 42% win rate at international rugby. So definition, more of it's bad than good. But the reason you play and the reason you make a sacrifice and commit is for that 42% for the times you succeed. And I've got great memories, some not so great memories, but one of the quality memories I have outside international rugby, or including international rugby, was winning here in '99. So as you said before, we got a gala welcome, we got put in the preliminary round, played 5 ties, we played all 3 visiting invitational sides at Cambridge Uni, Villager and Stellenbosch, and a rogue set for Gala managed to win. We'd actually won, I know this just sounds like a boast, I'm terribly sorry, but Gala had won Team of the Year that season, and we'd been at a function in Edinburgh where we were presented with Team of the Year. Gary Parker of this parish was driving the minibus back down the road, and we had to stop a couple of times for a couple of lads had to throw up because they overindulged at the dinner. One of those was Tom Weir, who had to stop at Cornwall Ferry to drop Tom, and as he staggered out in the minibus, he turned around and says, "Wouldn't it be funny if we won the Sevens tomorrow?" And lo and behold, not the ideal preparation. He never played the first 2 rounds. He was still struggling. I think Clovis had to play the first 2 rounds, but we did. We won it. We played 5 ties. We played the very first tie preliminary round, and won the last one. And to get success in your local area with the players you grew up playing with, under pressure at a high quality tournament, was brilliant. It's a really good memory.
Big day for Gala. Who did you watch as you were growing up? Why was Melrose so special to you?
It was just so special because it was such a big event, and there were so many international players and quality players who'd come. The day we won it, actually, I guess it's me having talked Gala up winning Team of the Year. This is the other end of the scale of being for Gala. We actually, after winning here, we made it back to Gala later on, but the YM had won at Dumfries the same day. So they got all the accolades because they got back to Gala first before we got back to the trophy. So we were second only to Dumfries winners to the YM that year. But you were brought back down to earth pretty quickly. But growing up, I remember, you remember the visiting teams, your Randwicks, Campeses, all teams like that. Bay of Plenty, but it's more the local teams. The Great Kelso side, I know the Melrose lads are late, but sorry, Shep Rush. But watching these guys win it around 97, 98, Watorian's a really strong side of players as well, so I think it's more the kind of Scottish local teams that were able to deliver and knew and understand how special an event it was to get that wee gold medal. I believe it's solid gold, that's what I was always told. It's the weighest medal I ever won, but it's the most valuable, I believe. I never won many medals either, to be honest.
I would get that on Antiques Roadshow and get it checked. Now we've got the wonderful Woody, who I think has a question from the floor.
Well, we're over. Oh, can you hear me? We're over at the naughty table. Hello, naughty table. Hi, how are we? We're good. So we have a question from Brush. So I did ask him, why is he called Brush? He didn't really explain there, but anyway.
Yeah, we'll not go into that one. But Mossy, yeah, sorry, hi everyone. Sorry I'm late. Apologies. That's down in the chair. But probably, Mossy, can you share the quarterfinal 2003? What happened in the warm-up?
The warm-up.
Can you share that with the group here? Because obviously that was a funny occasion. Might last a game, but it was certainly an entertaining warm-up.
Yeah, the current climate might frown at this, but the quarter-final, we're playing in Scotland, Australia, in Brisbane. One of the kind of off tangent a wee bit, one of my greatest rugby memories is that day as well, because Brush Snowy, Glenn Metcalf and Tooney, Gregor Townsend, 3 players who I looked up to, I wanted to play alongside, and who really looked after me, all retired after that game. So it was the last game to share the field with 3 of your heroes when they retired was really quite special. But I was lucky to make the field because I was hit with a stray ball in the warm-up and got knocked out. And that's why I say it's a wee bit, in the current climate, it's no laughing matter. But I got hit. Immediately after warm-up, I'd always want to be last off the field and take 2 kicks at goal. Just psychologically, it was quite nice to think, actually, the next kick I take is going to be for real, so I want to be in a position where there's nobody else around, I have to nail this, I've got 2 balls, nobody's going to kick them back. If I miss both, tough. If I get both, fair enough, replicate it minutes later when you're needed to kick in action. So, and I was in one wee world, kicking my 2 balls, kicked one, got the second one, and just as I bend in to put the ball on the tee, whack, I got hit inside the head with somebody kicking a stray ball back to me. It was Ben Hinshaw, the guy who played with, and I just dropped like a stone, flat on my back, tongue hanging out, thinking, what the hell was that? And I couldn't get up. I genuinely couldn't get up. 2 people saw it. One was James Robson, who came over in a fluster, and the other was Gregor, who came over with a water bottle and scooshed me in the face, like a Euro 96 celebration in the dentist chair. He scooshed me in the face thinking I was having a laugh. And I was like, Gregor, come on. Like, you're minutes from a World Cup quarter-final, I'm not going to be mucking about at this point. So yeah, I got hooked up, wandered inside, got put in the dressing room, the lights put off, and the most nervous person was Andy Craig, who back in the day when the team got announced, those who weren't involved in the squad would go out, dirt trackers as they were called, or other names, they would go out for a bevy the night before because they weren't needed. Nowadays, international teams carry about 7 or 8 players, extra players, in case instances like this happen. So, but because there was no extra players, or 23rd, 24th men as they are nowadays, or 25th men nowadays, they all went out and smashed. Craigie was steaming, he was sick, he was still rough. At 7 o'clock the next day at night, and if I didn't get off the medical bed 3 minutes before going back on for the quarter-final, he was going to have to sit on the bench. So the most relieved man in the world when I managed to get up and get on with it was Andy Craig, but it wouldn't happen now. There's a health warning associated with that story.
Mossy, Melrose Sevens, it's going to be rammed here on Saturday. All eyes on Melrose. It's a great showcase for the short form of the game, but also Scottish Borders.
Yeah, brilliant. I love Sevens. I love what it offers. I think other than set piece, if you want to progress or if you want to excel at whatever level it is, I think you're tested at Sevens. Your fitness is tested beyond anywhere else. Your ability to attack and defend is tested because you're doing it under fatigue. Defensively, you've got so much more space because there's half the people in the field, so you have to be good. But it also makes you deliver under pressure, be from crowd, the expectation, fatigue, as I said. You got to deliver. You can't hide. And I love that about Sevens. I hated it at the time, and I hated the feeling you used to get halfway through the first eye when you thought you couldn't go on, but somehow you burst through with your second wind. And if you're lucky enough to get to a final, you look back and think, how the hell did I do that? I love that kind of difficult, real challenging element to it, and whatever level, whoever plays, whether it's under 18s, whether it's seniors, men, women, you get that in Sevens. It can't be replicated. You have to deliver under pressure, and not do the same for everybody that plays on Saturday.
I bet you could still have a charge about. I bet you could still play.
Nah, only touch.
I bet you could. Do you still play touch?
No.
No? It's a stupid game, eh?
Nah. Don't even tempt me.
Mossy, I've loved speaking to you. I'm going to have to let you go because there's so
Thank you.
many cameras in the room. I can't hold my breath any longer. So I'm going to have to sit down. How good is he, ladies and gentlemen? Chris Patterson! It's like Pavlov's ducks. You all know to shut up when the music comes on. Well done. You're being very well trained. Now, on your tables, ladies and gentlemen and good people of the village of Melrose, there is the programme, the official programme. Now, my advice to you would be, keep hold of that, and you'll be able to sell it on Saturday and make some money. But what I'd also ask you to do, I mean, there's some very informative information in here. There's the draw, there's messages from the sponsors, but there's also quite an interesting article if you just would like to flip to page 12 and 13. I tell you what, I went to against skill. Look at that, I did all those words my very own self. Look at that. I I got my big brother, the English teacher, to spell check it for me, but I typed all of those. So enjoy that. And if you suffer from insomnia, that's your baby of the night. Okay, so get on that, page 12 and 13. So let's get to the main event. It's time for our very first inductee. And if you're going to induct someone into this fabulous Hall of Fame, you have to get somebody special to help. So who do you call on? We're bringing in a Kelso legend, so let's get another Kelso legend. Someone who wandered a wee bit, but he came back to the flock. And I think, like many of my era, 1997 was a hell of a year for rugby and that British Lions squad that went down to South Africa and won the series. That was when Scottish players were allowed to be in the British Lions. So this guy's rare. He's a Scottish Lion. Please welcome to stage the one and the only and the Southern Knights head coach, Mr. Alan Tate. Hello, how are you? How's the new job?
I'm a bit grey, but no, it's going all right actually. The boys have been fantastic, and we're hard at it, and we start on Saturday, so can't wait.
Can't wait. And Melrose Sevens memories for you?
Only played here once, and we won it. No, I was just lucky to be part of that great Kelso side, and if you got a chance to run on the wing or in the centre, you just jumped at it. And as I say, I got the chance to play. I actually captained the side because the late great Gary Calendar called off on Thursday, and I was vice captain. So I got to captain the side, so it was a bit of an honour as well. I didn't actually get up to lift the trophy because after the final, and I'll get him back here. Roger Baird and Andrew Kerr would come running up to me because they knew I was a young lad and I wasn't used to this kind of stuff back then. And they said, Alan, look, we want Eric to go up and get the trophy because he's retiring. This is his last season, so let him get the honour. I said, hey, not a problem. Let the heck don't get up there, and I won't argue. And I'll show you a little story. But anyway, I knew I was signing rugby league after I played in the Melrose Sevens. I'd already arranged to go, and I signed on the Wednesday or the Thursday after that. But a year later, I'm in my house at Witness, and we played on the Sunday, so I got the Saturday off. And I'm in there, feet up. I thought, I wonder what's on telly. So I put the telly on, Melrose Sevens. And it was the final. And Kelso were playing. And they won. And Eric Paxton was the captain. And I thought, yeah, there he goes. Took my honour of going up the steps there. So there we are.
I'm glad you've let go though, Tatey. Good lad. So you gave him a little nickname there. What was it like playing with him?
Look, I mean, we had a great Kelso side. As I say, I mentioned a few players, John Jeffrey and Andrew Kerr, Bob Hogarth. There was a lot of great players at Kelso, but Eck was sort of, how could you say it? He was just before everybody. His fitness, he was into that. And I remember somebody telling me that he used to go out training in the summer, and he used to run out the Kelso Road to Ednam. And he didn't just run; he used to jog a post, sprint a post, the telegraph poles all the way to Ednam. I always remember them little things when you're sort of growing up behind somebody like that, and you think, yeah, he's putting it in long before anybody else did, really.
And as a leader, someone to get behind?
Oh, definitely. Once he took them teeth out, boy, you knew it. You knew we were all on. And as I say, he never took a backward step. And as I say, it was just great to play alongside.
And Melrose Sevens has got a very special place in Kelso Rugby Club's heart.
Yeah, you certainly knew when Melrose Sevens was coming around at Kelso because the training, everything stacked up 10 levels, that if anybody was mucking about it, they soon found out. They were pretty lethal. As I say, I was lucky to just be a little part of their sevens, but they were an awesome team, and Eck was right at the front there.
He certainly was. Well, let's not waste any more time and bring up our first inductee of the evening, the one and the only, the Kelso legend, Mr. Eric Paxton.
different, certainly different. A great event this is. Melrose has set up something very special here, and hope everyone enjoys it.
You've got a decent record at Melrose, I think it's fair to say.
I hope had a wee bit of success here. I can't complain really.
Now, tell me this. You were in 10 out of a possible 12 finals,
That's right, aye.
and you won 7 of them.
Did.
That's all right, yeah?
No.
No?
No, we lost 3. Galley, Jeddah, and Stuart Melville. No, that it doesn't bother us like.
There's one win in particular I think that sticks out when you had to go a wee bit further than maybe you'd expected.
Aye, well, that was the year that Tatey played. We had to give him a medal sometime. We played Jeddah in the semi-final. In the final, I should say. It was 10-all extra time. And I was lucky enough to score. I had to carry Tatey off after that.
Training took a massive ramp up, and I've heard you talk before about Melrose being important and fitness being important. Now players are conditioned and it's just what happens, but it was a wee bit different when you played.
Aye, it was. This might sound a bit stupid, but I was never a great rugby player, but I was bloody fit. And I was always fit, and it carried us through a lot of the stuff that we had to do. If it meant hurting somebody, I'd hurt them.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a great advert for getting your kids involved. Now, that team, anybody who knows Borders rugby, definitely people who know Scottish rugby will be able to reel off that Kelso squad. You had some pretty useful players in there. You're saying you may be one of the best rugby players. You had some playmakers, you had fitness, you had a bit of grunt. Was it the perfect squad?
Well, the side that I started with was Roger, Ewan, Andrew, Bob, Jim Hewitt, Gary Callender and myself. And that was by far the best side I ever played in. Because if it wasn't for the other 6 boys, I wouldn't be standing here.
And it's a big jamboree. Everybody comes to Melrose. Is it still something you look forward to?
Aye, it's a great event. They're adding more and more onto it. But the international sides now that they're coming, they're missing out on something huge here. It's a great place to come and play sevens. And I was speaking to actually Scott Hastings the other day, and we were on about sevens at home. Scotland didn't play now, Wales, England. But if you were to say to a young boy, 20-year-old, we'll sponsor you be £15,000, and then get your mother and father or sponsorship to give you another 10,000, and we'll send you around the world playing sevens. There'll be plenty of folk jumping at the chance.
And you got to go to Hong Kong. Keep it clean. Oh no, this is an 18 audience. Go for it. What was it like going to Hong Kong? It's a fair trek for Poinder.
I didn't walk it anyway. But no, I was lucky enough to play there 10 times, I think. But it was a great tournament. And you met some great players, and Rob Shoulders, the best players in the world. And it was great to do that.
And they got dunted off you, I would imagine, too.
Well, 1 or 2.
One or two. So the lovely Woody is out there, and I think's got a question. Woody, who have we got?
Well, we're at another naughty table, actually.
Another one.
Yes, another one. But we have a question from Bruce. Over to you.
I'm just wondering, Packy, when you look back at your career, do you think perhaps if you passed a couple of times rather than did, you wouldn't have 2 new hips?
The wonderful Graham Aitchison from Kelso, in case you couldn't see there.
I might do have Stephen Winders medals though.
Eric, before I let you go back and sit down and enjoy the rest of your night, you've got some charity events coming up. I think now's time to try. There's some moneyed folk in here. There's plenty of cash in here. So go for it. This is your floor.
Well, we're doing, and one of three of some friends that we played, not so much at Sevens, but Alan Jeffrey, Garen Callender, Clive Miller, we're all in the Margaret Kerr unit, and the place is absolutely amazing. And all by the grace of God, it could be any one of us that are in there. But so I've decided that I'm going to walk from, Clive played at Watsonians, and they played at Poinders, so I'm going to walk from Watsonians to Poinders Park on June the 17th and 18th, about 58 miles. And it's going to the Margaret Kerr and the St Columbus, because Clive's best man was diagnosed 2 days after Clive's funeral that he had a brain tumour. He's now passed away as well. So that's what we're going to do on the 17th and 18th of June. Just a sprightly 58 miles. Anybody want to join in, just give us a shout.
So to finish off, can I just invite Chloe and Lucy to come up, Eric's grandchildren. I did warn you. Come on, up you come, this is your big moment. Let's have some music, please. Please stand for our first inductee, Eric Paxton! The first of our inductees is in, but now, and I'm just reading this, so I think it's now time for dessert. We're having dessert, and it's meringues for dessert. So I hope you enjoy, and we'll be back very, very soon. Thank you very much.
Melrose guys couldn't take it. Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, we're looking forward to next year already. You know, so this was the first year it was on the radio, right? So that was new for us. And last week we went to so it's nice to get out of the building as well. It's already been signed, so it's going to do it too. I'm hoping to go national next year. I've got a meeting with the SIU on Tuesday. Try and get all the clubs involved so we can cover all the divisions. I wouldn't have thought so, but the idea being that and then we can effectively what we will do, the promotion we're doing, what we're supposed to do is promoting. So, you see grassroots think people want to make money from it. And also you as well. So, we can do that. Well, yeah. I mean, it's worked out really, really well. And I mean, we won everything's within about 2.5 to 3 hours. So it's all doable. And we can look to rock up anywhere, do a commentary. And whilst we're doing the commentary, we're checking in on all the other countries, so we're seeing the reports of that. And what it would really want us to do is get more equipment so we can literally have a reporter covering Division 4, another in Division 3. And that will enable us to do that and create expenses and stuff like that. Because we're still very much in the shoestring of what it really is. But we have a great team of passionate people, and that's what it's all about. And I think we do it well. Really board is going on. If we weren't doing it, no one else would be doing it. And so we would just not have any coverage to do it. Even in Borders, Halifax, and the Greater, the two African countries, there's been a staff of 6 between them. And even the actual in Borders, in 5. What we're doing is working the train, we're actually sending people out and talking to them and promoting it to the way it used to be. So we're kind of like going back in time, but it's always been like that. So, if we just suppose that £15 a week per person, that's nothing. That's not, so, and if you look at the other bit, because we have a weekly program, which would involve building position 4, building position 3, and we'll be talking to every club every week about the coaches, what's happening last week, what's happening this week. So what we're doing is filling a gap in no one's covering. And that's all you can do. There's no point in going and doing something better than somebody else. And luckily they show you kind of leave us a little bit on there, which is nice. There's no individual review. It would be good. It's like
Grande coffee. It didn't take long, did it? But if you know who to speak to, and I've never felt like a rock star before, but if you speak to the right people, you get a real human-sized coffee. So cheers. Oh, they did it right here. They did it right here. So, next inductee. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a historical night, always. But tonight, more than ever, because tonight we have a first, a significant first. Now, this one means a whole heap to me, because I've known this person for a very, very long time, and I've watched the journey, and I've been lucky enough to be a little part of it at various points along the way. And there is a chance that this is going to get emotional, so brace yourself, Agnes. So, we've got a few messages. I sent out a couple of messages and it came back. So the first person we're going to hear from is the GB Sevens coach, Nick Wakely. Let's hear what he had to say about our next inductee.
I want to give you a quick message for Tomo, just to say congratulations on the induction to the Hall of Fame. We're super proud of you here in the GB Sevens program. We've been really excited and happy to have her, and she's been excelling every tournament. Yeah, really excited to see where the rest of her career goes, but brilliant achievement. But me and Confucius say well done, buddy, and keep up the good work, pal.
Sent from Hong Kong, where more history was made. What a time to be a GB and Scottish Sevens player involved in that circuit. And then the next message went to some of our pioneers who are doing great things in the game and becoming fantastic role models. And they're very, very proud of our next inductee. So let's listen to our Scotland squad.
Massive congratulations, Lisa, on getting inducted to the Melrose Rugby Hall of Fame. We are all so, so proud of you, and you're an absolute trailblazer for women's rugby and for this squad. We look forward to seeing you soon.
You've no idea how many takes that took to get Lana Skeldon to speak for that long without swearing and get all the girls to join in at the end. So that's pretty impressive. So, started, Jed, Langham, Hoyk. I mean, getting out of Hoyk High School, the school for the hard of thinking, is pretty impressive for anybody. But to then go on to do what she's done, she's played for Scotland at 15, she's been captain, Scotland Sevens, GB Sevens, she's an Olympian from just down the road in Hoyk, and now she's here to be the first female inducted to the Melrose Sevens Hall of Fame. Please put your hands together and welcome to the stage our next inductee, Lisa Thompson! Thank you. What a lady. Right, let's go straight for the big stuff. How does it feel to be called an inspiration and a role model and know that there are girls and now boys who know who Lisa Thompson, Scottish and GB rugby player is?
I think it's huge. Like, it's one of the best things about the job. We speak a lot about it as Scotland, we speak a lot about it as GB, like inspiring that next generation. No, it's almost the biggest thing we want to leave as players. We didn't have anybody to look up to when we were younger, not females anyway. So yeah, that's a huge legacy that I want to leave. Is I want to be an inspiration. I want to inspire young girls and boys to pick up a rugby ball and stick at it as long as possible.
Well, you're certainly doing that now. Back in those days of yeah, go for it, go for it. Forget rugby academies. Forget those factories in Leinster that are producing Grand Slam teams. Trinity Primary School's doing bloody well, isn't it? How good is Trinity?
No bad at all. There's something in the water down that end of the town.
Talk us through. So I'll go back. There's Colin Deans, And then let's jump forward quite a few years. Who have we got?
Suz, Hoggy,
And Yo.
myself. Yes, I think that's just it.
That's
Yeah.
pretty impressive. GB Sevens, Stuart Hogg, Suz, that's pretty cool. And you loved playing, you just wanted to be involved, didn't you?
Aye, massively. And like, I think like some of my best memories are being down the wee park down Queensland, like just playing bulldogs with all the boys. Like that was my first taste of rugby and contact. And then getting down to Mansfield Park with the Robbie Dyes at 5 years old. I think everybody's probably seen that photo of me jumping on a tackle pad. That's probably what my tackle technique's like nowadays. But no, like just as soon as I started playing, I just knew that's all I wanted to do.
And amazing that it's now a job, because it wasn't then, and now you're getting to gallivant around the world. You're fresh back from Hong Kong. You're claiming not responding to Siobhan's messages on jet lag.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
terrible.
you responded straight to me, so Siobhan. Hong Kong Sevens finishing 3rd with Great Britain. That's pretty special.
Yeah. No, it was a huge weekend. Like, Hong Kong's got a special place. Like, we were out there with Scotland in 2019, trying to qualify to get onto the series, and unfortunately we lost the final to Brazil, and our dreams are over. But we got to the final with Scotland having a week's preparation, 2 weeks preparation. We'd come off the back of a whole Six Nations campaign and came in 2 weeks before trying to qualify to get onto the series against full-time Sevens programmes. So to go back to Hong Kong last week with the GB girls and come away with a bronze medal was class. It was, Mum's told me to stop saying the word class, so that was twice. No, it was unreal. Like, just if anybody's watched the game, we did win. It looks like we didn't, but no, it was unreal to come away with a bronze medal, and that's first one for GB. So yeah, we're looking to push on, and it'll be a huge opportunity in Toulouse to hopefully qualify outright if everything goes well with other teams. But yeah, we've still got an opportunity to qualify outright for the Olympics next year.
What's it like scoring a try in Hong Kong Stadium?
Unbelievable. Unfortunately, it was at the North Stand, not at the South Stand. If anybody knows South Stand in Hong Kong, nobody's any idea of who's playing rugby at that point. But no, it was
Rob
real
Moffat's
cool.
been lost in there a few times.
Yeah, anyone knows South Stand is a place to be. No, it was cool, real cool to the ball just end up in my hands and I ran as fast as I could.
You certainly did. Now, the other try I want to talk to you about was in Tokyo. The Olympics for women's sevens has been an incredible advert, and you know the inclusion of it has been a great thing to step up programs. You went to Tokyo. It was a weird Olympics because it was the COVID Olympics. You got on and you scored a try, and I was pretty close to tears because I was up watching, screaming for Tomo to go, and it was just such a brilliant thing for anybody who knows how far you've come. You're an Olympian and you scored a try in the Olympics. Do you pat yourself on the back, or is that for further down the road?
I think it's probably for further down the road. I think like as a wee kid I never ever thought I'd be at an Olympics because rugby was all I ever wanted to do, and rugby wasn't an Olympic sport until obviously Rio with the sevens. So, and I never ever thought I was a sevens player either. I thought I was 15s player, that'll be that. I won't play sevens. I'll go play sevens in the summer with Scotland and I'll have some fun. I'll come back and play Six Nations. So to be in that training squad, to go to an Olympics, first of all it's reserve, 13th wasn't even able to play, and then the law changed that 13th was able to go in and you could rotate them whenever. And yeah, grateful that I had that opportunity and somebody put me in some space and I managed to finish it off.
You certainly did, and it was class. Now we've got some questions from the floor. Glamorous Woody's over here.
Lisa, just, oh, can you hear me? What, just an inspiration you are, really, just incredible. And just the way you're speaking, and just such an incredible example of just amazing. Honestly, I don't even know what to say, you're incredible. Anyway, we have some questions. I've been watching your wee granny's face, bless her. They're all so emotional. So we've got a question from Eric's granddaughter, Lucy. Over to you.
First of all, congratulations on your induction, Lisa. And I was just wondering, what's been the most challenging part of your rugby career so far?
Great question. I think I was unfortunate enough to be out with injury. Only for 4 or 5 months, but I think that was a huge learning opportunity to learn how to train by yourself. I think is the biggest thing when you're injured, and I think that's something that I'm learning with the sevens as well, because when you're at home training, you do a lot of home training alone. So no, I think essentially training by yourself is one of the most difficult things, but I learned how to deal with that through injury. So no, if anyone's ever in that situation, just stick at it. There's definitely better days to come.
Yeah, I find training one pretty hard. Sometimes tough to, just make that first step. I know what you mean.
Get the boots on and you'll be alright.
Yeah, well, long ago. But now we've got another question here, and look at the smile on his face. Look at this. He's right chuffed. He's getting to speak to Lisa
The
Thompson.
questions are rolling in. Over to Doogie.
Thank you. Congratulations, Lisa. I'm actually after a bit of advice. So I've got the honour of coaching the Melrose Storm tomorrow at the pre-qualification tournament, and I'm just wondering, we've not got a lot of pace or skill, and most of them are here tonight having a few beers, so what advice would you give me as a coach working with this group of athletes?
Tonight, let's just keep going and we'll deal with it tomorrow. So, I played one of my best games hungover. I scored a hat trick actually. So, aspire to score a hat trick with a hangover.
I'll tell you what, you're getting a round of applause, but that
Only did it once. Only did it once.
Granny. Granny's not chuffed with that one. And last question.
Last question over to Lorna.
Hi Lisa, certainly put us through it the last week and that last 2 minutes. But congratulations on your fabulous GP bronze medal against the Fijians last week. My question is, how has the transition been from being in a Scotland 7 squad into a GB squad?
Transition's been huge in terms of there was never any pressure on us as a Scotland 7 squad. Whenever we were on the World Series, we were an invitational team and there was absolutely no pressure on us. So we went out there and we had fun. And we still do that with GB, but there's obviously a lot more pressure on us. There's pressure to qualify for the Olympics next year, and we put the pressure on ourselves to medal at that Olympics next year. So no, the transition has been good, it's been going well. We medalled last week, so that's a definite positive. But no, I'm learning so much. Being in that sort of professional sevens environment where I guess I haven't been before. I've been in a professional environment, but not a professional sevens environment. So no, transition's good, and we're learning a lot.
Now, some of you might be aware that Lisa appeared on a very popular podcast last week, live from our hotel room in Hong Kong. And you were joined by players from other countries. It looks like you've gelled really quickly, but you've been having to teach them a bit of the lingo, haven't you?
We have. We do still have language barriers, believe it or not.
Hey, you're from Hoyt, we all get it.
I think this is my best.
You can actually see, but there's subtitles on the screens behind you.
I thought this was a good sunbed English.
I think you've done pretty well. They'd be proud of you at the School of Hard of Thinking.
Aye, there's still words. It's the I. Everyone gets fascinated by saying I instead of yes. I don't know why Jazz Joyce particularly, but imitates me every single time I say it.
So you're being bullied by the Welsh?
I'm essentially being bullied.
Okay, right. We'll bring that up with Whackers. You've got your buddies Rona and Shona with you in the GB squad. Is that a nice comfort to have two Scottish girls with you?
Oh, definitely. Even for speaking normally sometimes. I know it's real nice to have them, especially Rona. Like, we have been on some journey together. We got capped together in 2016 and we were in Hong Kong together. Devastated that we weren't going to be on the series. So, no, it's super special to share that journey with two other Scots, and obviously we've got Kieran out there and we've got Ryan, and yeah, there's Scots all around, so it's all good.
It is all good, and you are blazing a trail, I should say. Now, I have to thank the organisers because they've allowed me to be the person to present the cap, which I'm very chuffed with and could cry. I'm not gonna lie, I could cry. So, our next inductee and our first female inductee to the Melrose Sevens Hall of Fame is Lisa Thompson. Mum, Dad and Granny have to come. Susan, Alan and Anne, come up and join Lisa on the stage. Absolutely loved that. Now I've just let him sit down and I'm going to ask him to come up because we're going to keep the party going. This man arrived very late, but I'm hoping he's going to be well worth it. You'll all know him very well. He's going to be the one lucky enough to induct our final Hall of Fame star this evening. So please welcome to stage the one and the only Brian Redpath. It's an old gag, but it's a good one, isn't it? So, Brush, what's it like being back?
I came back last year just for as a weekend away, and I've been here for about 15 years or so, and it was always nice to come back. And this weekend is to come back with some of the Scottish lads from London Scottish, and try and make them understand how important rugby sevens is, and how Melrose is to myself and just in general, people that play rugby, from being an amateur to being a professional to being the opportunity to play rugby sometimes is missed a little bit. And I think coming back this weekend, seeing some old friends, Skull and Keith Robertson, George Ronson and Eka Dunt, and obviously Chick and Sheppy as well, and RDP. There's a lot of good people here tonight, so it's nice to be back.
And growing up, was Melrose Sevens something you dreamed of playing in, or did you expect to play in it?
Yeah, no, I think the Crichton Cup was what I was brought up with, so playing in St Boswell's under 8s obviously was part and parcel of growing in rugby. And then Keith Robertson was the guy that he was from St Boswell's, so Keith was the guy that we kind of looked up to, and Colin Loveland and was the other guy. So that time in St Boswell's, playing for St Boswell's was a big thing, even though it was tiny. And then obviously Darnick, Gartonside, and Newtown, St Boswell's, and then St Boswell's was a massive thing. So Sevens was always in our love, in our blood. It was something that we wanted to do. Playing at the Whitefathers in Newtown again, which is the old ground, and it was just, you know, playing here at the Greenyards, and then trying to under 8s, or under 8s, 11s, 13s, 15s, and then winning the Crichton Cup. And I think I had about 17. I think Scrog Shield, Dave Shield was the other guy that was competing with me for a long time to get the most medals. So I loved it, and it was what gave me the insight into rugby, friendships, little villages that meant so much to each other, and then also represent Melrose at the end of it. There was always something to look at, and playing rugby without restrictions and without any guidelines was something that was special.
You had to perform, otherwise you got pelters on the street and in the bakers and in the bank and in the butchers. Was that a nice thing to have?
Yeah, it was a bit of a weird thing being, I think the Borders is so inbred and great to see Lisa talk about.
Oh, the end of that one, Stuart.
Inbred, I mean that.
There's a lot of folk with 6 fingers in each hand clapping that one.
I've got 2 sons that are 6'2", so I'm not sure who the father is. Always know your mother in the Borders. But yeah, like Lisa was saying, and just the whole thing of being a part of the Borders family was huge. Representing the south of Scotland for me at that time was probably more important than represent Scotland, because I had Gary Armstrong and Greg Oliver that were playing Angel Tate that I had to try and oust out of my club and my district side. So for me, being part of the Borders setup was huge, and my love for the Borders will never ever leave, and I still believe the Borders have got a massive opportunity if we could somehow keep that integration with everyone and make them believe that they are worthy of a chance. I think sometimes now, with the way that private schools and everything else and education sometimes takes it away from the Border people, but I still believe some of the best rugby players, the best committed people, are from the Borders, and I'd love to see more of them come through, and all the kids that come through
I think you rescued that one, Brush. I think you got them back. Well done. Now, you mentioned relationships there. You know, that successful Melrose side that you were part of, you know, I could list. I used to watch you on Rugby Special on a Sunday. what was it like being part of that group with that coaching team, with your mates, bringing on the young players, having those experienced players? Seemed to me like a bit of a joy.
Oh, 100%. I left school at 15. I started working with McLeish brothers at 16. I left on the Monday, started with Tom, Kenny and Kevin, and obviously their father Tom as well. Yeah, I mean, I think in that journey was something that you kind of just got used to in the Borders, and you wanted to be part of that team. And Melrose at that stage, and obviously Keith, I mentioned already, was the stalwart of that. George Runciman was another one, a legend of a guy that we all kind of looked up to, but he never knew anything different because I was still working as a joiner and then played for the seconds with Brucey Bell and Tubby Craig and all these boys and having a great time. But then the reality came along, when Chick came along, suddenly Craig changed a kind of level. For me was like, because of my older brothers as well, Craig and Andrew, but Chick was probably the pioneer to change that group of players. The training ethos, we trained Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, played Saturday, trained Sunday, and Chick was at the leader of all that. And then when he got successful, that allowed us the chance to follow someone and be part of a group that actually we want Melrose to be successful and challenge the likes of Hoyk in the past and Gala of the past, that we want to be of something. And you know, for me, that was the whole thing. Being part of a team was a big thing. I wasn't big enough to be the main part, so I was big enough to be, or good enough to be, a part in the cog. And that's why I always seen it. If I could do my job really well, then I could be something different from a Gary Armstrong or someone else. So I could never be the key player. I could always be the little linchpin in the middle sort of thing. So that's how I gauge my life on, and gauge my mindset on. And it wasn't about size, it wasn't about physique, it was all about being part of the team. So being part of that Melrose team was part of me being, how can I benefit others? And not necessarily about me, but I knew I would benefit from it. So there's lots of positives, but also don't get caught up in just about you, because you're playing a team game and it is about the team at the end of the day.
Can you click that and get it sent to every school in the country, please? That is stunning. Rush, thank you. Now, I could blether to you all night, but we're here to induct our next performer, and we asked for a video, and this is what they've given us. So before Brian introduces, let's just turn your eyes to the screen and have a little look at this highlights clip.
Scrum is good. Really sharp from Kenya, dancing around. He's Lugonzo. Now switching to a rampaging try scorer Ayoni, and now they can clear to Wizard. The try scoring Wizard, Injera! Incredible! And on now come Kenya, rumbling! Injera! He nails it down. Kenya are bringing the noise in Singapore. That's gonna do it. That's gonna do it. And this is why we just love Sevens. It has taken them 114 tournaments to enjoy this moment. Kenya, congratulations. That was just awesome. There can only be one champion, and it is Kenya.
So ball back into Kenya's hands. What can Bikodima do to set up Collins and Jira? And Jira has a little cut now. And Jira, this is going to be the moment where Collins and Jira scores his 200th try in a Kenyan jersey on the Sevens World Series. And Jira, well, he's such a character, and he's signing the ball. Look at this. This is not brilliant. Congratulations. Where did you have that? Ken? I'm not sure the cameraman's going to be too happy about that one from now on, but what a way to mark the 200th try.
Do you ever keep a Sharpie in your sock brush?
Yeah, no, my socks are pretty wee, so I'll probably stick at the top bit.
Just an IKEA pencil?
Yeah, no, that's it. a wee tip on them, all right.
Brush, go for it. The floor
Yeah,
is yours.
no, look, ladies and gentlemen, obviously it's a privilege to be back here. You've just watched the video of Collins and how he has been the mainstay of the Kenyan team for many, many years. And he's the second top try scorer, I think, and I think Dan Norton is the top one, and I think Collins is the second one. So it's unbelievable to have him here this evening. I know he's a keen golfer, I know he's a keen Johnny Walker whiskey drinker, because he's an ambassador for them as well. So make sure that you can all buy my whiskey this evening and get him full of whiskey. But you have been a privilege to watch and to see someone come through the ranks of and being such an ambassador for Kenya and the African sport. And to have you here in the home of Melrose Sevens, for us it's a privilege. For me, it's a privilege to see you here tonight. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow morning with the Merky boys that are here at 10 o'clock, so we'll all be here together. And then obviously have a great weekend. But it is a privilege for Melrose Rugby Club to induct you into the Hall of Fame, and I wish you all the very best, and please come up and accept your cap. Thank you so
Ladies and gentlemen, Brian Redpath. Hello, Collins. How are you?
How are you? Good evening, everyone.
I tell you what, if we're looking for the new James Bond, I think jeez, you make a fitted suit look good. I'm getting a bit of a hot flush up here. So, come on. You had a pen in your sock. Why? To tell the gathered masses here why you had a pen in your sock for that try.
Funny story. I remember playing that tournament. It was in Twickenham. First day played the whole tournament without scoring a try. But I had worn an inner garment. I had written first in Africa, and I think that was the jinx. I couldn't score any try during the first day. I think going into the second day of the tournament, I took it off. Of course, after the boys had already mocked me in the changing room. Took it off. I decided to carry a pen. The plan was to sign the ball, but then after signing the ball, the camera was right there in front of me. I couldn't resist it.
Now, you couldn't resist it. Now, not many people in here, I don't think, have signed the lens of a camera. It seemed like a great idea at the time, didn't it, Collins?
Yeah, it did.
But
Kevin here, I'm sure he was a director in that tournament.
so we've actually got the director of the footage that day is here as part of the documentary crew.
Yeah.
And we've got it on pretty good order that you then had to...
Yeah, nothing happened. I think if Kevin didn't know what happened, I definitely didn't know what happened after.
It's a pretty expensive bit of kit, Collins, isn't it? Ruined by some smart arse Kenyan with a Sharpie.
Yeah, I think after the tournament, I went on the social media and this whole story had blew up. ESPN was there writing about it. And at first I was worried when you said it's a very expensive lens. But yeah, I was eagerly waiting for anyone to come and try and ask me to pay for it. But if Kevin here didn't know what happened to the lens.
Yeah, he's got the invoice with him. It's $5.5 grand.
How many years later? Now it's appreciated.
That was a bit of class. Now that was a special try, wasn't it? What did that mark?
Yeah, I think it was a special try. I was the third person in history to reach the 200 try mark. So for me, it was a big deal. I think it just shows how far I've come as a player, how far we've come as a team, and also for the sport. So it was really big deal.
It's a huge deal to put Kenya on the rugby map. You've played 424 matches, which is the 6th overall. You've scored 1,443 points, which is 9th overall, and 279 tries, 2nd overall.
Yeah.
Where did it all go wrong, Paul?
Yeah, I think that, like you said, when you mentioned those numbers, even now I'm still surprised. I think growing up as a little kid, born in Nairobi, which is the capital city of Kenya, grew up in Eldoret, where all the marathon runners come from. Never imagined I would be in this position. I think I just played the game that I love. I love the sport, rugby sevens, and I think for me it has always been about having fun and making sure you enjoy and trying to inspire the next generation. So for me, it was always about trying to create a path for the guys who follow and see, even if for them they can also achieve what they set their minds to.
Well, you've certainly done that, and you became an Olympian. How special was that? Because you went to both, didn't you?
Yeah, I went to the 2016 in Rio and the 2020 in Tokyo. So for me, it's special. Like I said, I think when you play sports, sports has a funny way of I think changing lives. For me, at first it was about enjoying and having fun, but then it gets to a point you realize it's not about you, it's about the other people who are also supporting you, the people who are looking up to you. And I think for me, just going to the Olympics, I wanted to do one in 2016. After that, I wanted to retire, but I still felt like I still have a bit of energy. Did the Tokyo Olympics. And yeah, after that, I think, I don't know, I'm not sure, but now because I've retired, I don't think I'll make the next one. Yeah, but I'm glad, like I said, in sports has a funny way of just changing lives. And I'm here, a kid who grew up in Eldoret, playing the sport. Now I'm here at the home of Rugby 7, the sport I've played for the last 17 years. I mean, it's such an amazing thing.
It really is an amazing thing. Now, you're also in the Fijian Hall of Fame. That's a pretty decent collection that you've got there, and I love chatting to you at the table. You were talking about the relationship the Kenyan squad and the Fijian squad had on the circuit.
Yeah, I think that was the first one. Happened this year in January. Got inducted in the Fijian Hall of Fame as well. It was just an amazing feeling. I think never dreamed of going to Fiji. This time I had a paid vacation, fully paid. Went down to Fiji, got inducted, and like you said, I think Fijian people are always friendly. It doesn't matter where you go, where you see them. Like you said, the relationship between the Kenyan boys and the Fijian has always been there. I think I don't know why I found it like that, but I think one thing I came to realize is about the humility of both teams. So I think that's what really brings them together.
We got to see the final there where you beat Fiji, and that's that's the jewel in the crown at the moment of Kenyan Sevens. That's your World Rugby Series title.
Yeah.
You played quite well in that final, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, we did play well. I don't know if you watched the previous tournament in Hong Kong. We had just come from Hong Kong. We had played Fiji in the semi-finals. We knocked out New Zealand in the quarterfinals. Then in the semi-finals, we were leading throughout the game, and Fiji managed to score a last-minute buzzer-beating try, and we ended up losing that game by 2 points. So going into Singapore, we knew we had it in us, and the good thing, when you see that score there, it's not guesswork. That we really planned for that. I mean, going into that final, we really knew we had them, we knew where we'd hit them, and luckily our plan worked and we executed well.
And how many tries did you score in the final?
Just 2.
Just 2. Just 2. That's a pretty decent plan. Throw it to Colin. Now, this I love. In this country, if you do well, you might get chucked an MBE or an OBE. You got the Order of Grand Warrior. That sounds really cool. What does it mean? What does it mean to be a Grand Warrior in Kenya?
Just simply, it's a presidential honor award that is given to people who have really done good deed for the nation. And I think for me, when I got that, it was a surprise because people who get it's not. I think I was among the first sportsmen to be given the Order of the Ground, the OGW award. And like you said, it means a lot. I think for the nation, for you to be honored to be given that kind of accolade by the president, it's such a big thing.
That is a big thing. Yeah. That is a big thing.
So you've spoken about inspiration. You've been given an award as one of the first sportsmen. You want to inspire. You want to be a role model. You just played because you enjoyed it. But now you're able to use your platform to make the world a better place. Tell us about some of the work that you've done since you finished playing.
I think even before I finished playing, I'm involved with a foundation called the Good Kenyan Foundation. Pretty much started as an idea of helping the young boys and girls who have just finished high school. Because in Kenya, there's this period when you are done with your high school, as you wait for your results, there's like a year or 6 months period that you're doing absolutely nothing. And I think we realized that there's a big gap there, that kids tend to fall off. So we try to keep them busy by bringing them on board and for them telling us what they want to be in future, if they want to be a doctor or a pilot or a sportsman as well. I think we get mentors, people who have already been there in those fields, who have achieved, and we get them to come and help. Talk to them, they go to visit them in their workplaces, and also just teach them a bit of life skills, soft computer skills, just making sure that we keep them busy during that period before now they transition into university and colleges and all that. So that's the work we are doing at the moment.
So I could go on, but Woody's got a question from the floor.
We do. Congratulations. Over to Alan.
Collins, we're absolutely thrilled to have you here in Melrose. It's a two-part question. Firstly, what emotions do you go through watching yourself on the screen scoring tries? And secondly, what's the best stadium you've ever played in?
Emotions, I still get goosebumps. Yeah, when I watch myself play, I try to avoid it because I tend to overthink sometimes. I tend to think if there's anything I could have done better. Yeah, but like I said, I think in terms of emotions, I get goosebumps, I get kind of a tingling effect when I watch myself play. Stadiums, I think I've played in a lot of stadiums. I think Twickenham.
Sorry. Collins, I'm pretty sure it was in the brief, my man. I asked if you'd read it and you said yes. This is what happens when you go to the ship with Shepherd, Brush and Chance. You don't want to reconsider that answer? If I was you, I'd just go
okay,
Hong
for
Kong
the
and be
sake
done
of my security here and my stay here till Monday, I think I'd go with Murrayfield.
You got to know the room, big chap. You got to know the room. You've scored a lot of tries. A lot of tries. Does it ever get boring?
To be honest, no. I think it's one of those feelings. So long as you're playing for your country, and doing what you love is.
Hang on, that's Craig Chambers. Is that your taxi? I fucking hope so. Oh, hang on, it's a question for Collins. Have we got a question on the phone for Collins? Is it Hoggy? Do you think Carl Hogg should have been inducted in the Melrose Sevens Hall of Fame? With that kind of behaviour, no. So, Collins, score and try, and you were very close with that Kenyan squad. When you score, it's part of the contribution to the whole team effort, and you were a together team. You spent a lot of time together, built some very strong relationships. Do you miss that?
Yeah, definitely. Sometimes I do miss it. It's very hard actually watching the boys on TV and you're not there. Sometimes I don't even watch. Like last weekend, I think I only watched the first game. After that, I couldn't take it. But yeah, I think it reaches a point, you know, you have to let the next generation take over, and that's what they're doing. So for me, yes, to answer your question, sometimes it gets, you miss it, but then again you realize that it was for the better of the sport.
How does it feel to be at Melrose, apart from cold?
It feels nice. I think it's exciting. It's one of those places I've always wanted to visit. Coming to the birthplace of Sevens rugby has always been top of the list. I was supposed to be here last year.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah.
yeah, don't worry, that one didn't escape us.
But yeah, I'm just glad I got a chance. I think thank you to Phil and the organizing committee for working tirelessly to try and get me down here this time round. And yeah, I'm just glad to be here. Really excited looking forward to the weekend.
Yeah, and we're delighted to have you. We've got another question from Woody.
We have another question from our own little legend, geography.
Thank you very much. I have two questions. So the first one, do you fancy playing for the Melrose Storm tomorrow? The first time for 20 past
1. It's a tricky question, eh?
Can we get that? Can we get this man a double Johnny Walker?
Yeah, definitely I would love to play here, but I specifically didn't carry any pair of boots. For that reason. But yeah, I think for me at the moment it's just to come here, enjoy the scenery. Of course not the cold, but yeah, some good rugby as well.
What's the highlight of your career?
That is one of them. I think I have a couple of highlights. If you allow me, maybe I'll break it down. The first one definitely is winning the first ever tournament for Kenya. We played in the series since I don't know how many years ago, but I think just winning that trophy in Singapore in 2016 was a highlight because it meant a lot to the Kenyan community, the Kenyan people, and now rugby has really spread back in Kenya. So for me, that will always stand out. The other one would be when I broke the record of the most tries scored in the world. I think when I got my 231st try, it was pretty special. Yeah. Those two always stand out.
Collins, it's been an absolute joy to have you with us. I think you're going to be inundated for selfies and all sorts later on. But folks, just to finish, I'd like to invite our other two inductees to come and join Collins on the stage for a photograph. This is kindly your chance. So please welcome back to the stage Eric Paxton and Lisa Thompson. wants to come up and have a Q&A, they're going to come up now. Once one of them's back to the toilet, we hope that he's washed his hands. Our three inductees into the Hall of Fame, I think you'll agree, are all very, very worthy and coming from different parts of the game. So please, one last round of applause for Eric Paxton, Lisa Thompson and Collins Injera. Now, I think what we'll do is we'll get one up and the other one can join us when he gets back. Two men who need no introduction, but they're going to get one anyway. As a wee lad growing up in the Borders, watching rugby special on a Sunday and going to games on a Saturday afternoon, two heroes of mine, a bit like Brush. So really delighted and honoured that they're here and that I get to have a chat to them. So please, first, oh no, he's back. Please welcome both to the stage, Craig Chalmers and Rowan Shepherd. Gentlemen, great to see you. Shep, looking dapper. Was it Chick's fault you were late? Obviously. So,
Never.
Shep, what's it like being back at Melrose?
It's always good. We came back, stupidly, Mr. Rob Moffat encouraged a few of us back to play in a little game for Doddy a couple of years ago. And thankfully the Samoan/Fijian team we were playing agreed to grip touch, but that was still too much, so myself and Craig Joyner bottled it, sat at the bench. But no, it's always good to be back. It's special. The minute you walk down and come through the town tonight, as we did at 4:30 for a pint, no, it does. It gives you goosebumps. It's an amazing place.
Chick, you can wander far and wide, but when you come back, you're still a bunch of daft laddies that play rugby together, aren't you?
Daft is definitely one of them. Some daft.
One's sitting over there. There was a lot of daft laddies in Melrose, but we were a great group of players. You know, Keith Robertson mentioned a lot tonight. Keith was the guy that we looked up to. He was the Scotland international at Melrose at the time. He was the guy that we wanted to be. You know, we wanted to play for Scotland, go and play at that level. And he inspired us, and you know, thankfully he was there to lift the trophy in 1990 when we won the Division 1 Championship for the first time for a long time. And you know, he's here tonight and he's in the Hall of Fame, and he is definitely the best sevens player I have personally ever played with in my life. You know, outstanding. Sorry, Eke. Sorry, Eke. You were the best roommate. You were the best roommate in Hong Kong, or worst roommate maybe. But he was the best sevens player I ever played with. You know, the way that he played the game. But yeah, listen, we're a great culture here, and it was a culture before the word culture was ever invented. We just came down and trained because we were told to by a guy called Jim Telfer, and we were all shit scared of him. So, you know, we turned up on a Sunday morning, no matter where we were. You know, I got my first cap for Scotland in 1989. I got told that on the Tuesday night. I was down training on Tuesday night. In those days, you met on a Wednesday. I was down training on Tuesday night at the Green Yards, and I'd been out doing some kicking and stuff. And Telfer came in and he goes, "I'll see you Sunday morning for training." And he goes, "Well, I'm playing against Wales on Saturday." And he goes, "I'll see you Sunday morning for training." And I got picked up by Robbie Bryan from the Carlton Hotel at 8:30 AM. We were training. I was ready to train at 10:30, or no, sorry, 9:45 on the Sunday morning after my first cap, because we were shit scared of Jim Telfer. and that's how it was back in. That was the culture that we had back in those days. And culture it wasn't even a name. It wasn't even a word back in those days. We just did what we did. And you know, it built in that. We built that sort of camaraderie, great team spirit, and that team in the 90s was obviously fantastic. And you know, we were lucky enough to win a couple of sevens tournaments as well in the 90s as well. So
yeah, great. It's a great place to be, and coming back to Melrose at the beginning of the weekend, seeing everything that's going on here, it's fantastic. It's a great week, and hopefully this weekend the sun shines and we have a great tournament.
Agreed. Shep, you joined it. You came and
We brought him in. We felt sorry for him. He's at Aki's, Edinburgh fucking Aki's.
Interesting, that one. Wolf and Jill met me, I think it was the turn of 95 at London.
Much did they pay, Shep?
I got a shitty little
Too
Honda
much.
Civic because it was properly amateur in those days. No, to be fair, I came down from Thurso, drove through Edinburgh, hung around there for a couple of years, and as most Highlanders do, we had to come and do the borders as well. So, no, Moff met me early 95 and he said, look, come and play, hopefully it will do good for your game at 15, but we won't pick you 96, but we haven't won the Sevens in 22 years. And we're shy of just a wee bit of something, might play up front, but we've got a long-term plan to win the Sevens. Otherwise, all we hear about is Keith fucking Robertson. So I says to Moff and Jill, I says, right, so we're doing that, so if we're going to win at 97, may as well fucking win at 98. They're like, right, let's do that. So we came down here and did the job in 97, 98.
Can we get the Rob Moffat version of that story? We've heard from Brush that Chick was the man driving the standards. Was that what you found when you came?
On and off the pitch.
I think in a Sevens term, if we're talking Sevens, I mean, you got to remember we had 6 backs and 1 forward. And as if Carl was here tonight, we'd tell him he was there to win the kickoffs. But after that, I mean, we had 5 cap players in that team. And all you had to do, you know, Andy P and myself, we loved it, because you used to sidestep a couple of forwards and chuck it to Brushy, who'd spin pass it to Scotty Nicholl, who'd either go himself, or if you hit Mark McCreef, it was over. I mean, I don't think, for the first 2 rounds, I don't think we went over the halfway line. Literally, once we won the kick-off, you'd shimmy a couple of big donkeys, chip it away, and Chinky was off. And then Chick would go up and drop a goal, so it worked well. Those 2 points were crucial.
Chick, you got to have a comeback there. Is it nice to hear Brian say you were the man driving it?
No, listen, I think we all drove it. Yes, we were all competitive. We're all competitors, and you know, he played for Boswell's, Boswell in the Crichton Cup. That's where it all started for me. I mean, my first memory of Melrose Sevens was probably I came to the Sevens, but never actually watched it. We used to go and get autographs, Jim Rennick and Keith Robertson and Ecky Paxton's autograph. You know, we go get autographs to the programme. That's what we did. And then my next memory was probably 1983 when the French Barbarians won the tournament. I was ball boy that year, and I always remember Robbie Brown, who great Melrose stalwart, fantastic player. He was a ball boy as well, and I always remember him wrestling with the ball with Serge Blanco at the end of the game. Because Serge Blanco, back in those days, after international games, it was always a big thing to get the match ball. And Serge Blanco that day decided, I want to get the match ball. And Robbie Brown had the ball. So Serge Blanco's wrestling with Robbie Brown at the side of the pitch to get the match ball. And so that's my memory is Melrose Sevens. And I think we beat the first round, or we won it. We had, you know, and to be fair, it was probably the best thing, because if you could beat the first round, you got straight into hospitality, you got absolutely hammered, or you got to the final and won it. So, you know, we were very lucky. We were with a great coach in Rob Moffat. Rob was our coach in '97. He let us do what we wanted, really. We had a great set of players with the same team and same 7 players that started in '97, started in '98 as well. You know, 25 years on, and you know, it was a great set of players. The subs changed a little bit, but we had Chinky's here tonight. I'm not sure I can say that. Mark McCreef. Chinky's here. Where is it? Here it is. He was our star man in the wing. He had some gas in the wing. He could finish for us. Scott Nicholl had some gas. You know, Hoggy.
You dropped the goals.
You're the biggest, fattest, slowest sidestep I've ever seen in my life. But
still worked.
But it still worked. It Carl Hogg phoned me earlier on today, and he was complaining about why.
I know, we heard it.
Why he didn't get it, and he's back on tonight again. Still moaning. He was a moaning bastard, and he still is. But he was the only forward in our squad, in our team, and he was only there to win the kickoffs, and he did it fucking well, to be fair. You know, he won the kickoffs, got us the ball. Sevens is a far easier game with the ball than without it. You know, it's a far easier game, and thankfully we got the ball. As soon as we got it back, let's get it to Chinky and Scotty Nicol, and we'll score some tries. And these guys are outstanding. But yeah, we had Andy P. Andy P gets very little recognition. Andy P's here tonight. Andy's or crazy legs, as we like to call him. He was fast, but he didn't run in the same direction for any length of time. He was all over the shop. But he was a big part of it. He was a big part of our team as well. Shep in the forwards, you know, Tiabe's build, obviously. But we are a great bunch of boys. The subs that were never really needed. We'd wanted to Derek Stark was in the bench, wasn't he? But he came on for a couple of minutes and he was stuffed. But
the Rolls Royce
of Scottish rugby. But we had a great bunch of boys, great coach, and listen, you can look back. It's lovely to look back. But I'm looking forward to tomorrow or tomorrow Saturday, and hopefully we can see a Melrose victory, because you know they don't come out very often. I was lucky enough to win the Sevens as a coach as well with the boys in 2011. That was do you know what? It was equally as gratifying.
We've all done that too.
No, you won. It was Sale. It was your second club. But it was a really gratifying thing, and very similar as well, because we had 6 backs in our team then as well, and we won it in 2011. So I mean, listen. Hopefully on Saturday the guys can go out and produce the goods, and hopefully they produce a Melrose victory. Fingers crossed.
I know you've got a job to do here, Bruce, but Craig and I are having a chat. One of the things I remember from '97 in particular is, and I think Mark McCreef, Scotty Nicol and myself sussed it, was the utter pressure, and Chick was one of them, probably Andy P. Hoggy, fucking nightmare. I mean, a protein shake, that guy. Brushy, not so bad, but I remember coming in after the first round and doing the old, fucking hell, I've got to do this again. And Hoggy was like, what did you do? Fucking, of course you got to do it again. It's like, lighten up. Of course we're here to win the thing, but just needed a bit of pressure taken out of it. And then the next thing, we won the quarters and then the semi, and we had a humdinger. You never remember the semi-finals when you win it, but Graham Aitchison reminded me we played Kelso. But it was
never in doubt.
But that was a proper tie. I mean, you're playing against a quality side of probably 80% of the team had played for Scotland at Sevens, but again, you need to be light-hearted. You can't play a tournament and be there all day. And I think the balance of the squad between the local lads and the boys that had come in, and the banter and a bit of crack to take the piss and have a laugh, and Moff was brilliant as well. He recognised the balance between the group of course we want to win it, desperate to win our own sports, but you have to enjoy it. And you watch All Blacks and you watch the top teams of the world saying, yeah, that was fun, and you're like, yeah, was it fun? That was fun. And I remember the final whistle against Cambridge, and we stuffed them, and I just remember like, holy shit, there's like hundreds and thousands of people about to run on the pitch, but there's folk from the ladies that served you teas all week, and people in tears all over the place. People were an absolute mess. I mean, Bob Redpath because he didn't get picked, but the whole.
It was the first night since 1975, so it was a big thing. So.
For me personally, coming back and doing it again, understanding the history and understanding what it meant, that the emotion at that '97 tie, it was huge. To the point where Brushy and I, we got the cup. It was like 8:15, and I said, right, Brushy, come on, we'll go through. And we got the cup, and we walked through, and we opened the door at the clubhouse, and it was like, fuck that. never had we seen the carnage of the clubhouse at 8:15. Because I'd played for Aki's previously, or he'd been out the first round. We had to go back in and have 6 more beers before we went back through. It was a mess, the place.
I think 98, we won it then, 25 years ago, it was more relaxed because we won it in 97 and we'd done it because it would be the first time since 1975 since Keith and Robin Wood and Moffat won it in those days. So I think in 1998 we were much more relaxed. We actually played better probably on the day. I mean, probably every game that we played that day was an easier tie. Because we beat Kelso. I mean, the game against Kelso, as Shep said in '97, was it could have gone either way. And Kelso still dispute Andy's dodgy try under the posts that won us the match. But listen, Sevens is a fantastic game, and thankfully it's been invented in Melrose by Mr. Ned Haig, and that's why we're here tonight. And God bless him.
Ladies and gentlemen, Craig Chalmers and Robert Shepherd.
Last night. Here we go.
Done well.
There we go. And this one here, straighten up a wee bit. She has done incredibly well, hasn't she?
Pretty dark there, no?
Yeah. I can brighten it up a wee bit. There we go. Let's try that. And of course the problem is you always get the glass reflecting.
Clamshell.
Yeah.
It's through their office.
It hasn't moved,
Put
hasn't it?
that bloody long. Didn't bother putting it.
Yeah. As Lisa as well, who's just arrived.